Um, there was a This will be short. There was a song I was telling you about the other day that has just really been haunting me because as I listen to it, I like it, but oh goodness, that pain medication makes me itch. Um, when I listened to it again for the first time in many years, I really liked it, so I've been listening to it. But one time I was listening to it, and the way they sang two words, just all of a sudden I heard it different. I think actually it was one of the first times I heard it after I was smoking, and because they just sound so creepy, man. I mean, it's the best way to for you to see what I'm saying is to sing a little part of it, and the last two words I'm gonna sing are just like in the other two sets of lyrics. Each little story, they end the same way but with different words. And if I over exaggerate a little bit, I'm sorry, but it just is real creepy, and I wish I had music to go with it. But anyway, it's the one that goes. Let's see. There was once a girl who wouldn't. Let's see. Damn it. There was once a girl who wouldn't change with wouldn't change with the girls in the change room. But when they finally made her, they saw birthmarks all over her body. She couldn't quite explain it. She said that they had always just been there. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the way they sing those last two words, if you listen to it in the song again, uh, the music also, there's this real ominous kind of sound, a bass, deep bass, and some vibrating. It's just really wicked sound. It's really strange, and it is when bands do something like that, it gets me, attracts me to the song. And a lot of bands, I'm sure you know this. You seem like someone who appreciates a lot of different types of music. So many bands that never went on to really get real super popular, or a bunch of bestsellers and all that crap, number ones. They seem to have one song that is just like their Stairway to Heaven, or their Dark Side of the Moon. I mean, it's just different from the other stuff they do, and it's just fucking good. It's just good. And of course, the big bands do it too. Like Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, but they have so many. I mean, those bands don't just have one good song; they have a lot of good songs. And but these small bands, I mean, like the Dishwalla with the Counting Blue Cars. Let's see, Filter with Take My Picture. Would you take my picture? Shit, I could go on. Three Doors Down, Kryptonite. It just they would have this one big hit. And anyway, maybe that's why I like a lot of different types of music. I think I would be more accurate to say I like a lot of different songs from a lot of different types of music, because I don't just like all those kinds of music just because I might like a certain song. So anyway, I am feeling real good. I don't know what any of you know about pain medication, but it's opiate. This is an opiate pain medication, which means it comes from the poppy. Heroin, morphine, that kind of thing comes from poppy, and it just really hits you. I mean, I feel real relaxed right now. Nothing hurts. The numbing stuff was starting to wear off right after I got home. Actually, it begun to wear off during the procedure. The procedure took about uh, close to an hour and a half, and it was wearing off in the middle of it because when they started cutting here, they really cut deep here. I'll take that off. I probably won't do that on camera because, I mean, come on, that's a little bit in poor taste, in my opinion. But I will show them once I take this first dressing off, which the doctor said I can do in the morning, and I'll clean it up and let you guys see it. But see what I do, man. I go off on a little sidebar, and I forget exactly what I was talking about. I guess I think I was talking about the opiate painkillers and how much they just mellow you out. Yeah, that's it. No pain. Even though I have some stitches and I have undergone some pretty deep cuts, and this much. Let me tell you what, man. These poor doctors. The worst part, by a long stretch, was when they were numbing the area. Shit, man. I've had it done before. You know, I've had a local anesthetic and something done, and no problem. I mean, it's always uncomfortable when you get pricked by a needle. Come on, man. But when they inject the numbing agent in, that adds a little more pain because it's expanding the area and it's putting pressure on the nerves, and they're going like, "Hey, man, stop!" But man, it hurt like hell, and they had me laying flat on my back with my arms on these little rests, and they told me to keep my arms there. Hey, man, I started tensing up to that needle. And shit, my arms came straight up and hit that dude's hands, man. I'm serious, I hit his hands. And I said, "God damn, man, you're fucking hurting me, man. You need to put your hands down, sir." I said, "I ain't putting my fucking hands down, man. You fucking hurt me, dude. Listen, I'm very, very tolerant of things, and especially these kind of types of medical procedures. I know they might be uncomfortable, but that is hurting too much. You need to take it a little bit easier, and don't inject the stuff so fast." And anyway, he cut me off. What we had were two young guys. I guess they were doing their residency, and one much older gentleman, looked to be about 70 almost, and he was overseeing everything. And that's exactly what he told the guy right after I got finished with my little cousin. He said, "You need to slow down with your injection." So that helped a little bit, but it still hurt, and my arms were still coming up off the little platforms, and they were telling me, "Put your hands down." And so anyway, that was the worst part of this. Oh gosh, I mean, seriously, it hurt, and glad it's over with, and I hope it doesn't come back. This area right here is it's the stubborn one. I had it removed at the Houston Michael DeBakey Hospital, fantastic hospital, 6 stories, huge place, and they removed it, but they did it by scraping. Today they cut out like a valley or whatever. And but they scraped really deep, I thought, because they kept scraping, and no problems. It was numb, no big deal. But let me insert this. The area of what it was just a small little bar shaped, maybe about a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch long. It would come up, it would scab over, sometimes it would bleed. It was right on my collar of my shirt, real uncomfortable. Anyway, so they scrape it out, and in less than 2 years it was back. It came back. And they also took off a couple of other spots during that same day, that same procedure. They didn't come back. They were gone completely. So I was teasing with them when they got done. I said, "All right, who wants to take a bet here about if this thing is going to come back or not?" I said, because it has. This tape's bothered me. This thing has come back. It's stubborn. And anyway, but the whole thing ended okay. I haven't been a person who's had to undergo a lot of physical medical procedures. The only other surgery I've had is tonsils taken out when I was 13. I don't hardly have any memory of that. I remember getting offered ice cream after it was over with, a little small hospital in West Virginia. And then a real funny experience I had, it was oral, well, it was surgery, or oral surgery. It was getting a tooth pulled that was really big, real big tooth. Again, I was about 13 or 14. And they put me under, and, I came to, and it was over with. And while I was out, I had this dream that around that time we would go to my grandmother's on either side of the family on the weekends or so, and have dinner. Everybody would call the aunts and uncles, cousins, the whole thing, and have a great time. I had a dream of doing that, and the whole damn thing, man. I mean, the whole visit and everything. And when I came to, I don't know what we were talking about, but I made mention of that dream, and the lady says, she was laughing. She says, you were only out like 20 seconds. And I was like, wow, God, it gave me a really strange sensation to think about that, and then to consider how the mind isn't tuned into time. It can do amazing things. It just gave me a dream that was in I don't know what, 900 speed, whatever. But anyway, guys, this is just another short video. Doggone it, that pain medicine is making my nose itch, but it's making me feel good too. I need to eat something, and unfortunately, I'm sorry. I'm going to remember to look at the camera. Unfortunately, a side effect for me of painkillers, opiate painkillers, is I'm not hungry, but I haven't eaten, and when I don't eat, I start to, I run out of energy, and I start to feel down. I don't like that feeling, so I got me a $2 Tony's 3-meat pizza, and naturally, it's not very big, but they're pretty good, and they don't take long to make, to heat up. And another thing you'll learn about me is the way I eat. It's very funny because I'm overweight. I have a belly. I'm not gonna show all of it to you, but I'm overweight, and I need to lose weight, and I have been losing weight, but when I eat, I don't eat very much at one time. Rarely will I finish, for example, fast food, even a fast food meal. I just won't finish it, and forget a foot-long Subway. 6 inches, plenty. And but anyway, but I'll also will eat more meals than the average person does. I'll eat like 4 or 5 times a day, and but the big meal, I just can't do it. So this pizza will be fine. I'll probably only eat half of it. It's I don't know, maybe 8 inches by 6 inches. But so I need to get something to eat, and let me grab hold of this little thing here. Yeah, I need to grab a bite and start thinking about what I'm going to be talking about. I have decided to do a vlog every day. Probably be in the morning. I'm thinking about calling Hillbilly Bobby's 4 a.m. vlog, and it's going to be about any damn thing in the world, whatever comes to mind. Maybe even a few moments before I start. It will not be scripted, although I reserve the right to have notes especially if I'm going to be mentioning any kind of statistics, or that I want to repeat something verbatim, quote, and give credit to whoever said it. I think that's cool, because I do a lot of research on a subject, and so that by no means makes me an authority on whatever it is, but it does give me some knowledge where I'm able to talk about it a little bit. But what I want this vlog to be is, I want it to be fun, and I don't want to I'll do my best not to offend anyone, but I do get accused of being a little racist sometimes, and you'll see it, but you'll learn over time that it's not, because number one, I'm not a racist. So my comments are being misconstrued, and it's usually, unfortunately, black folks that do that, because they're so easily offended. I mean, for example, if you were to call a black person Negro, and they said, "Don't call me that, call me African American," or something like that, they're just so easily offended. And do not say nigger to a black person, because first off, it's offensive to probably every black person. Well, no, let me back up and say that there are some that are not offended by it, but that's the main reason to don't say it. There's no reason to say it. It's not necessary. It's not a necessary word to describe a race of people. It's offensive, so don't say it. But to see how black folks, how badly they're offended by that. Some of them want to kill you or fight you. Speaking for myself and a lot of white people I know, and that I have known over my life, from every walk, from redneck country hick or hillbilly like myself, all the way up to business owners. We could care less what any race calls us. Unfortunately, or factually, it is black people, black folks, that have the most racial, what they consider racial slurs for white people. And I don't know them all, but some of the better known ones are cracker, honky, white boy. Now, white boy is one that I will argue with blacks, especially a black guy that's kind of smart, and he knows we're just going to debate, we're not going to fight or anything. But white boy is a racial slur it's the most offensive one, because you are, number one, if it's said to an adult man, which typically it is, when you call a man a boy, that's that's a put down. Because if I were to say to a black person, black man, "Hey, black boy," it's a put down. And then when you add the race, white boy, so you got the race part of it there, and so it is a racial put down. Anyway, we don't get offended, man. We could care less. I could care less what you call me. What? How does that harm me in any way? In order for it to harm me, I have to let it harm me. I have to give myself permission to be upset by a word. And I apologize to black people if I make it sound like maybe you don't have a lot of strength when it comes to that, but you don't. And but white people. So anyway, I'll make comments about black folks and white folks, but a lot about black folks. Not a lot. I don't comment a lot in the first place, but sometimes I will on a black person's kind of peculiar behavior and mannerisms, and the way they pronounce words, some of the things they believe. that are really out there. And so, but I'm not a racist, and I apologize ahead of time if I offend anybody. But the vlog is going to be 10 minutes. I gotta have my clock directly in front of me. I'm going to not allow it to run over 10 minutes. As I learn to do videos better, I'll try to set it up where I can have a banner and maybe roll some credits. I'd like to see produced by Robert Conrad, directed by Robert Conrad, and on, filmed by Robert Conrad. I'm a vain old sucker. All right, I will see you guys later, and have a good evening. All right, goodbye.